travel all over the United States with my work, and just getting some time off and going out and exploring other areas. So my work took me to southern Utah, and I found out that there was a treasure hunting group in southern Utah right where I was going to in St. George, Utah. So I connected with Todd Andersen first. We went to dinner and just kind of hit it off. And then he introduced me to Tim, and then Tim and I and his wife went to dinner. And so one thing led to another, and we just connected and became really good friends. And I just ended up joining the team, and I was very fortunate to do that. And the only thing I'll say about Uncharted at this point is that I am really disappointed I didn't get to come out for your episode, Gypsy, because I know you guys had a great time, but that's the one episode that I missed.
Yeah, it's a bummer you didn't get to make it out there. I know that I've only gotten halfway through. I got done work and had to run around today, so I've gotten halfway through the episode. And it's been great so far. After the show tonight, I'll probably finish it up, but definitely glad to have you back on, Marc. And
Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Gypsy, are you still?
Did we lose Gypsy?
I haven't gotten a message.
It sounds like she's.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there she is.
Sorry, I was on mute.
I'm like, uh-oh.
So what
Yeah.
were you saying, Amanda?
No, we thought maybe we lost you. I was just saying.
You thought it, yeah.
Well, and
Sorry.
even though I wasn't out there for that episode, I was able to. I've hunted with Gypsy at different events that we've gone to, like Treasure Fest, the Garrett Hunt, and we've got the big Garrett event coming up this year as well. So I've gotten to spend some time with Gypsy. I just wasn't able to go out there for episode 4, so I'm glad she was able to make it out. And the other thing, too, is we have an incredible sponsor in Garrett Metal Detectors, and I know Garrett is sponsoring Gypsy, and I love using their detectors. I feel like I'm at home when I'm there with those folks, and they are one of our sponsors. So I'm glad that KG and Ringy and Gypsy all could come out and be a part of it.
Yeah, it was great. And I'm so glad that Garrett sponsored you all for season 1, and I hope there's many more amazing stuff to come. And looking forward to season 2 and all of that fun stuff. But now you've all know Tim and you know Marc. Let's go ahead and Todd, are you there?
I'm here.
Hey, Todd. So it's wonderful getting to work with Todd and meet him. And Todd, for those of you that watch the episode, know that he does he's been doing gold prospecting for a while, gold prospecting, gold panning, and but also does, metal detecting. So if you could tell us a little bit more about yourself, that would be great.
Well, I've been treasure hunting for a long time now. About 40 years now, and I got started with stories about treasures, lost ledges and lost mines. There was one that was near where I lived that was some guys that were robbing stagecoaches and banks, and they had a little cave with an iron door on it, and that was what got me going. And so once I started going out looking for things, I thought, well, I need a metal detector. And then on days that I wasn't looking for treasures, I thought, well, I've got a metal detector. I ought to go out to the park and learn how to use it. And so that got me into metal detecting. And then a lot of the places I'd go look were mining areas. And so I thought, well, while I'm out here looking around, I'll learn about mining. And so that got me into gold mining and silver mining. And it just, I tried to always have something to do, always have something some project I was working on. And I've been doing that for, like I say, about 40 years. And I was up in northern Utah, southern Idaho, and I moved down here to southern Utah and had been talking to Tim for a couple of years, I guess. And once I moved down here and hooked up with him, we started doing this filming, going out and filming and stuff, and it's just grown and just gone from there.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Todd. It was so great to meet you, and when I was there, and hear from everyone. Everyone brings something different to the team, and even our other friend that we're about to introduce. But it was great getting to metal detect with you, Todd, and all of you get out on there. For me, the ATVs were a blast. I enjoyed getting to bebop around on those ATVs. That was so much fun. And
that was a good time.
It really was.
It was funny. It didn't really come out too much on the episode, but that was the first day. The first day of our filming of that was the first day down here that it got over 100. And so not only were we, out doing our thing, but we were also dealing with that hot weather all of a sudden. That added a little extra.
It really
Yeah,
did.
that one got me too. I mean, that was a tough episode, Todd and Gypsy, all of us.
Yeah, it really was. A lot of the stuff doesn't always come through when you watch these shows, and because you're not there for the whole journey, we're just trying to give you some of the highlights. And I will say that out there, and with the weather the way it is, and the heat and the heat index, I'm sure that does. I'm curious what that was. But even though you think you're hydrating enough, but you're so busy doing other things, and us all trying to, okay, where should we go next? We need to go check this out. Let's get this on film. We're working cheeks to the bone over there, but but at the same time, some of us forget to keep hydrating, and I was one of them. I know Tim was one of them, and that's I've noticed for me in the last several years that when out treasure hunting and metal detecting, especially in the summer, I feel it the next day or that night, and I know Tim experienced chills and all kinds of stuff that night. I don't remember if that was the first day or the second day.
I think it got me on the first day. Chuch was yelling at me to drink more liquids, and it gets to a point, and you guys are right, some things are just hard to show on camera, but even on the first day, it got to the point where I'm dehydrated, I'm getting heat exhaustion, but I can't drink anymore. Nature and your body starts fighting against you. So there's a lot of different elements that are dangerous, I guess you can say.
Besides the rattlesnakes that were there.
That too.
Well,
yep.
Another thing, it was funny because, Cheech couldn't be in all places at the same time, and I didn't have a GoPro with me. And I should have whipped out my phone, but, you saw, if those of you that watched the episode, if you saw that giant rattlesnake at the beginning that I didn't even know they encountered, because I wasn't there yet, but I think I was on my way. But, oh, my gosh, we were down in this little valley, I think, while Tim and Sean were, or Tim and Todd were somewhere else looking for something. I was down exploring and metal detecting down in this little creek valley, and I climbed up on this rock and overlooked, and there's this overhang, and there's this massive, I mean the longest that I've ever seen in my life, rattlesnake there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm just turning around and going the opposite way, and he was just lounging, staying cool in the shade, but I'm like, holy cow. I'm from West Texas. I know what it takes, That's why I wear my snake boots everywhere, just about. But holy cow, that was one of the longest I think I've ever seen. And then so we came up, and I said, hey, I saw a rattler. They go like, oh, did you get it on video? No, I didn't. So it's like, well, it didn't happen, I guess. But Cheech.
No, even if you get it on film, rattlesnakes do not exist in this area.
That's what Todd keeps telling himself.
I refuse to have them.
I like Todd's way of thinking. I bring up the snakes for safety, and Todd just goes, nope, there are no such thing as snakes. I'm like, okay, I kind of like both ways of thinking.
Right. They don't exist, not out here, not going to meet any. But yeah, that was quite the fight, I will say, because where I came from, they used to have rattlesnake roundups. I've seen lots and lots of snakes, but that was massive. But anyway, that brings me to the camera guy. Now, most of you don't usually get this point of view, but Cheech, it was great working with you. Cheech, do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and kind of maybe how you met the team or got involved?
Yeah, I too, like the rest of them, love the outdoors and love to explore and find the old artifacts. I love history. And anyway, and we, through friendships or whatever, then I kind of met Tim and got talking to him about what they were doing. And after a while, then he ended up calling me up and asked if I could come start videoing them. I guess he's tried a few other people in the past, and it just never worked out. And so called me up, and come chase us around and video us and make us look good and whatnot. And I knew it was going to be a lot of work, but I didn't know it was going to be that much work. But it's definitely been fun, and it's been a joy of meeting new people and learning the trades. Sometimes I'd way rather be out there with the metal detector, but somebody's got to be behind the camera.
Right. I can imagine, because I know for myself, videoing for my YouTube channel and other stuff, it's hard to stop and be behind the camera and do all that. So it's always nice when you have someone as yourself to record all this. But at the same time, you being an outdoors guy and loving the outdoors and being on these adventures, I can only imagine how hard that must be, because I know how addictive metal detecting and treasure hunting is, as the rest of us can all attest to that. So I can only imagine how that must feel for you. Do you have any experience metal detecting, or are you just kind of learning right now through this group?
Yeah, I'm mostly learning through the group. I've done a little bit just playing around, but yeah, I've just been following them around and kind of learning a lot from them.
Well, maybe on future episodes, maybe they might be able to put all swap places or something. Somebody else man the camera for a few minutes and watch you treasure hunt. That would be a fun experience right there.
We've tried that before, and they forget how to turn on the camera. But yeah, I will on that episode. I was quite impressed after I watched the episode, because the bugs were so bad. I mean, I was constantly swatting bugs, and I was able to keep the